Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are around the world. Welcome to another Nomadium 4 stream. This is ASC the Pair. You may have noticed the stream started a little later than it normally does. I'm pretty on time for the most part, and I want to just share what happened. So I had the wrong replays for MZ versus JAI. I had the incorrect replays, so we are going to switch it up, and we're going to switch to ATL versus AS Phoenix, which is the other match yet to cast. So apologies for that little bit of confusion there. Yeah, we're just gonna switch that up, do a little switcheroos there, and yeah, hope it still works out well. I unfortunately don't have the bans for this series either. No bans there. I think at this point, honestly, we can assume a Lakota ban, unless we see it. And we can probably assume an Inca ban unless we see it. Those are kind of like the two most common things. Not the end of the world that we don't have the bans for this series, but it is how it is. We've got ATL versus AS Phoenix. This is a lower bracket match, of course. This is an elimination match for both of these teams. Let's go ahead and load up the games. Okay. I hope these aren't the wrong replays. That would be sad. Okay, ATL versus AS. Here we go. ATL versus AS. Game 1. Alright, welcome to game number 1. This is not the right replay, is it? This is Sahara. Bear with me, folks. We're just gonna check this. Okay, this is the wrong map. That's fine. I guess we'll just kind of go with it. I don't really know what these folks did. There are, in fact, rules for this tournament. That's a little bit of sarcasm thrown there. But we're just going to go ahead and cast this game because we've already had enough nonsense today. Might as well just watch it. This is ATL versus AS. Let's take a look at the players in the nations. For ATL, they've got Minimum playing Japanese, Soldier playing British, and Maximum playing Nubians. On the other side, for AS, they've got Japanese, Iron playing Japanese, Bencho Extreme playing Americans, and DWK playing Nubians. Notably, this is the other AS team. There's AS Gladiators, who are the team that we saw took down Rage the other day, and they're now in the lower bracket round 2. And then here is AS Phoenix, trying to do the same thing, trying to take down their opponent's ATL. Gonna be 3v3. This is on Sahara, which is the wrong map, but that's fine. Kind of no surprises here, seeing a double Nubians pick and a double Japanese pick. These are kind of some of the most contested nations in the tournament. Very interesting seeing Americans on this map. British kind of makes sense. British are pretty good at being early death spots. The archers are super duper good in the classical age. Americans is a little bit surprising. It kind of signals to me AS think they can do a little bit of greed with their draft. But honestly, I'm not in love with it. I think British are a better nation on this map in general. So, gotta give the edge to ATL there. Let's take a look at where the players are located. We can start with ATL. On the right side, the purple British player, Soldier. On the top over here, the red Nubians player, Maximum. And walking to the center, the blue Japanese player, Minimum. Over on the left side, for AS, we've got DWK, the light blue Nubians player. Also in the center, Iron, the white Japanese player. And finally, on the side, we've got Bencho Extreme, the yellow Americans player. Agency, this is good to point out. This game was literally played, I think a few days ago. Only one team sent in replays. No bans were sent in. This is a lot of slacker behavior here, guys. I really would like to not see that in the future. But the game must continue. Interesting choice of both teams to kind of send their Japanese player to the center. I think on these maps, I honestly kind of feel like the more and more I look at it, the center is a little overrated in Sahara. I think you don't need to go grab it. I think if you have reasonable starting positions as everybody else, if you're not cut off from your allies, then I think you really don't need to go for the center. I think you can just build your city. Obviously having one person in center is nice just to cover those edge cases where you'll lose some games because you don't have enough wood. But You know, honestly, like if you have a nation like Japanese, like you don't need like a plus +8 to function, right? Like if you have a +3 and you can scout like wood near you, you just go civic first and you have like an okay start still. Like probably like a similar start as if you walk to the center. So like, you know, like I don't know. I feel like this walking to the middle situation is not like the best move, but I mean maybe there are smarter players than I who have better skills and are able to, you know, make better choices in that respect. Looking at the ruins, AS lead across the board. DOWK is the one furthest. Minimum with a notable 0 ruins. Have they even scouted? They have not sent a single citizen to scout. That is not looking super hot. We do see actually here there's a wood camp for maximum. Maximum building at 4 wood camp when there's one much closer over there. Actually, this is a 5 wood camp. This is a little bit sloppy play here. Looking at the rare, so we have double Nubians player. They are, we do see a diamonds for ATL here, as well as tobacco. There is, in the back, there's bison, horses, obsidian, dye, happy in the corner, silk. There is marble, peacocks, as well as furs. Those are some very nice rares. Diamonds, plus all these library rares especially. Horses and some rares is going to be doing very well for themselves. On the other side for AS, they've got sugar, they've got ice, they've got relics, wine again, wool, silver, salt, probably cotton and amber. You know, I think I've got to give the edge to ATL. Just having multiple library rares, you know, silver is great and all, but I mean, I think like a lot of the other library rares I'm thinking are actually like a fair amount better in my opinion. And we do see this is going to be a military one, I believe, for minimum who's saved up all this food. Yep, it is going to be a military one and commerce one for iron. I honestly wouldn't have minded both players just going for a civic, but I guess if you want to get that early tower down, minimum especially, the wood line is very close to the city, so if you get your wood line towered, you're kind of screwed. So really important for them to, you know, get up their military. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, though, if I see them going for commerce after. Early Civic for Bencho Extreme. Gonna solidify this side. Probably go for another wood camp over here with this city. This is kind of a really wonky tree line here we've got. EWK is going early Civic as well. This is usually not something you do on Nubians. Usually you go for that that early commerce. But, you know, it is how it is. I guess they had just had a lot of extra food. And they're going to build forward. All right, the first units are out for minimum. Minimum made a heavy infantry. They're probably, if they're quick about it, they might be able to deny the barracks. No, they're not. They're choosing not to. Not going to deny the barracks. Just going to go for some raids instead. This citizen is almost dead. Wow, they killed a citizen. That is bad news for iron. The micro a little wonky there, and the archers are going to start shooting away here in a moment. Archers queued for iron. Iron has enough resources for another unit, but not enough. We'll have enough wealth in... Yep, there you go. We'll have enough wealth for another archer. I honestly wouldn't mind minimum making another slinger, but 2 heavy infantry is probably more than enough. I'm surprised that they made one. I think they made 2. I think you only really need 1. Wood camp here for Bencho Extreme. Wood camp up and you can get more. That's a lot of unit kills actually. I think this is the 3rd citizen. Forward tower for minimum. Those was 3 kills, yeah, wow. Minimum may have lost us on the backside of that, but do you see Commerce Civic for all the other players thus far? Take a look at the scouting of both teams. ATL doing like an okay job scouting. The AS doing a much better job scouting. You can see they've gotten much more of the map review in general. All right, but the forward tower is there. AS are leading by about 60 points here. I think that's just due to speed. And they actually are going to deny this diamonds away from their opponents. That's really big. I mean, it's going to take a hot second for Minimum to get up Civic. Actually, it does have enough resources now. And it is denying their diamonds for the moment. I mean, even briefly, it's going to cost 10 wealth income because, you know, Nubians only get that bonus if they're in the territory. And a citizen raid immediately. This merchant's going to start getting packed up. Good thing for Minimum is ATL, they have a lot of units, and they can sieve right on top of diamonds. They can probably... yep, the city is going to go right on top there. AS starting to finish up their militaries. Would like to see them kind of defend their rares, especially from this larger army. This merchant is toast, super duper toast. That's gonna be a nice usage of all these units. EWK is doing very well in score. Look at that eco and all those rares. That's 7 rares. Gonna go down to 6, of course, after killing this. This is a lot of units. DWK fortunately gonna be able to finish that barracks, and they are not using their Pappy on the side of ATL. I'm not really sure why. That's one of their best rares. Maybe didn't just have the merchant time. Would like to see Minimum keep using these units. I mean, there's 4 units. They're all full HP. Might as well. Keeping an archer back at home for safety is probably reasonable, but otherwise, like, sending them forward is not a bad idea. Even for scouting, I mean, they can still be quite useful. Forward tower here for DWK. Soldier is now dragging and quite a bit. Okay. Not sure. Bento Extreme has been pretty much untouched this game. Has a pretty good eco themselves. Alright, yeah, looks like Minimum's just gonna spend their units scouting around and for defense. Has the slingers and archers over there. 2 archers for iron. And Maximum and DWK are up. Maximum up too. Maximum also has a pretty good eco. With that diamonds once again, he's going to hit that plus 100 very soon. 110. Just finishing up their barracks. Is actually the only one with science research thus far in this game. Looks like you can see here, Bento Extreme holding resources probably for Colossus. No surprise there. And Classical Age is finished for Maximum and DWK. Forward Tower for Maximum as well. Where are these units? Whatever. Looks like they are able to secure diamonds for ATL. That's one of their nice rares to have. I almost wonder if the city could be more forward, but you see here, DWK has a few units. It's going to start raiding. Oh, these bowmen might get sniped. It's going to depend on which one is staying alive. Looks like this one. They're going to keep their bowmen alive. Bencho does go for that Colossus, as I said. Archer's just being very annoying, just poking back and forth. Japanese player still a bit far from aging. Minimum clicked up a while ago. Heavy infantry here that's just idle on stand ground, not raiding the silver that's undefended. Oh, there we go. It's going for it now. Senate is coming a little late, and these archers are late for AS. You know, you kind of want to put that single archer there as defense. But Minimum's going to get a few kills out of this. Very nice for them. AS are still leading, but the lead has decreased by 30 points. Still a very close game. Early game. British player has not aged yet. Still a bit far. Still need another 20 or so food. Like this infantry, heavy infantry is trying to take out this merchant, but Nubians merchants are OP. They got plus 50% HP, and so this one's gonna live. You can see it has 90 health as a normal merchant, and so it had below It had taken more than 90 damage, so it would have died if it was a normal merchant, but Nubian's merchants are super good. Looks like we see Republic for both Nubian's players. No surprise there. Bencho also obviously going for Republic. Compare the Japanese players here. I think we see that Iron is actually a little bit behind. Iron went for Science 1 compared to Minimum, who's now going for Senator. Doesn't quite have that science research. Does actually have enough resources. And Pappy, of course. Very happy with themselves there. A nice little lookout here from Bencho. I actually would like to see this further out, to be honest. I mean, you know, it doesn't need to be... Like, you need kind of more time. It kind of defeats the purpose of putting a lookout there. Yeah, many units being... Getting no units. A few units here for Maximum, Light Horse, some Cavalry. And it looks like DWK settling in for the long game, has 7 Scholars. What is the British player up to? The player has a pretty maxed out eco with diamonds, plus 137 is very nice. Curious if they're going to go Despot or Senator. I honestly think they might want to go Senator this game, given how slow it is and how slow their start has been. Mostly because of the healing in their territory. I mean, Despot is still all in, and it does cost a lot of wealth compared to metal. You know, obviously, like, you're never going to max out your commerce cap this game as British, but, you know. Bencho's actually going to go for Civic 2. Pretty greedy here, but, you know, maybe he thinks he can get away with it. The opponents haven't shown much aggression thus far. This is a very forward tobacco merchant to hold. You see a bribe going down here for on this tower. Can they get it here for Iron? Yes, they can. This is a very big move, and actually it's going to save their Senator too. Super duper nice for Iron that they are able to bribe that. And now the city is going to, you know, kill this tower eventually, but it is going to cause some trouble. And I honestly would like to see Iron just focus fire these citizens with this tower. You're not going to reduce the city here. Actually, this is moved back over. I'd like to see. Oh, there's no craft on this Senator to bribe this tower. Civic 2 actually for Iron there. Gonna try and get back up. Here we see some nice raids, an army raid here from Maximum. These units are gonna get cleaned up, I believe, though. There's no Senator here for them to run to. It is a nice raid. It's a couple units killed. This tower is not gonna get bribed back. We do see a lot of production being built here for DWK, and ATL have taken the lead for the first time in this game. If very brief, just a 5-point swing. Nice little raid here for DWK. Gonna pick off a Obsidian merchant, and they do not have vision of these other rares, but maybe they will luck into them. They did not scout that Pappy in the back, but it is unprotected right now. All right, here we see Maximum with just some hoplites and catapults here, beginning to pressure the city of Nara. Oh, this is okay. Looks like Iron is going to move up and try and protect their city. Many unguarded merchants here. Curious if you know, players can spare. We do see a Despot here for Soldier. Soldier with Science 2, actually. And DWK, still no science reason. I'd like to see them get that soon. They finish up their Civic 2. Begin sieging away. A lot of production, but not really using it much. Does have a very, very nice eco, though. Science 1 being researched now. Nara is being pressured. The catapults are sieging at Kumamoto. Here we see, this is Bencho's army. Bencho is here to protect. We do see a Soldier is scouting. Soldier with a pretty large army themselves, starting to go up units. Pretty reasonable eco. Looking to be a spicy game. Do see here, this city is undefended actually for Minimum. Minimum probably gonna lose that city. Yep, that city is captured. A lot of plunder. Can they keep these units alive? Would love to see an archer upgrade from DWK. Minimum does not have as many units, does not have militia upgrade either. This looks like they're gonna lose this fight here. gonna back up for the moment and just hold their tower. They're gonna lose their lose that city again. But did deal some reasonable blows. Do see here, Iron is pressuring that city, but ooh, look on this side, Americans versus British. Militia being pulled for Bencho, recognizing he just needs to kind of block out this all these units, but there are a lot of phalanx here. These archers are also being moved, not attacking. Kind of very sloppy here, but we do see a bribe going down. Gonna be a nice bribe. There we go. That's a bribe on a basically full HP phalanx. Very nice. I mean, with all these archers, I think that well, still, oh yeah, there's enough heavy infantry here that that soldier is gonna be driven off, and that's a sound victory for AS here. With the tower range, now they pick off a few more merchants. Not able to garrison it. Do see the red player maximum is beginning to rotate over, and a siege factory coming for iron. WK has aged up, going for all these upgrades. Still needs to get a few more what do you call it? Caravans, but otherwise it's doing very well for themselves. But they are going to get doubled very soon. Who we see in the back? There's some light raids, but I believe this Cataphract versus Cataphract. I'm not actually sure who wins. If you have Knight upgrade, you can see WK getting Knight upgrade right now in this 1v1. Curious. But these cities, these merchants are unattended. I actually would like to see a militia and go and raid these happy merchants. Over here, yep, DWK is getting doubled right now. Does have a fair... I don't know, only a few units. Get more from me. Throw them away or something? Looks like they were sent to raid, I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunate for DWK here, this merchant line is actually going over here. Iron is actually the next one to age up. Iron, with a pretty large army at Kyoto. There is a temple here, but no tower. Up now. Nice upgraded army here for DWK. Bencho and Iron are both aging. Maximum is also aging. If you look at Maximum, Maximum's doing very well. Gonna pick off some bowmen here with this knight. Big fight here in the center. Reasonable micro from all players. DWK. The Iron is backed up for the moment. I think they're just trying to not use it before they've upgraded. And minimum is almost to aging. Very close, just for our knowledge. On this side, the British player is actually going to be able to overtake the Americans player. Americans player did not have the upgrade ready, did not have enough production, is going to lose that city, and is potentially going to lose this fight here. This is 4 units, British units here. There is a tower that's holding back for the moment, but these phalanx are unupgraded. Or these hoplites, I mean. Oh no, the city's taken back. Huh. Looks like the militia were being pulled. Unfortunately, Bencho does not have enough production, another barracks or a stable. On this side, Kyoto is reduced, and Kumamoto is going to be, once again, ripe for the taking. Bencho desperately trying to hold on. 7 archers for ATL here. Bribe incoming on this this longbowman. Yep, gets it off, and looks like Soldier is not going to be able to hold this city. Unfortunate for them, Bencho is actually going to be able to hold them off. And the city of Kumamoto is sacked, and now the massive Nubian army comes walking over. Crossbows against some medieval age archers. Maximum trying their best, but Minimum just does not have very much at all at this point in the game. And Kyoto is about to be sacked, actually, with both 2v2 going very well for AS. Militia being pulled for Minimum. Maximum's units are stuck over here. They cannot do very much at all, and there's so many pikes for DWK that these militia are not going to be super duper effective. All these crossbows getting super good trades. Even if they lose this fight, it's still really worth it because they killed so many militia. All the militia are being pulled for Minimum here. Gonna have like no eco left after this. Catapult's moving forward onto this tower. And Bencho is just able to kind of hold the city. Let's see if it's going to be a cap sack here for AS. Militia on the backside actually pick off a trebuchet. That's a nice little move. City is holding temporarily. Maximum with a few militia of their own. And looks like ARs are actually going to be driven off. This is a... no, they were doing very well for themselves. If they can keep all these crossbows alive, it's really big for them. Oh, they did a move command in the wrong direction. So many militia here for minimum. You see here, Bencho has moved over with his army. A little late, my friend. DWK starting to produce again. Military 3 for them. I don't know if they have a fortress. And Bencho's like, okay, actually, I'm getting sieged at Detroit. I need to back off here. British Army doing pretty good. He's getting all those upgrades now. Port coming along for DWK at Kumamoto. Minimum's economy is garbage. Only a 33 population. All these scholars got pulled for militia as well. Here at Detroit, I think Bencho's still doing very well for themselves. Yep, and if we look at DWK missing that Commerce 2 search, actually at plus 160 wealth, that's crazy. Very nice eco at this point. Very nice library. Actually gonna go for science first. I expect to see DWK kill on this side once he has, what do you call it? Once he has gunpowder age. Japanese player here finishes up Commerce 2. That's also pretty reasonable eco. And pretty big move here for Soldier. Has Bencho scouted this? Bencho with a tactics upgrade coming along now. Should be able to fight this in these armies in a 1v1, roughly. Scouts the army with the lookouts. Alright, gonna be a big battle over here. Bencho has tactics. Not shooting with the crossbows. Probably ran too far forward. Here's some nice micro from the cavalry. I would love to see them run off to the side instead of running into pikes. Bencho's territory. I think Bencho has the advantage. It's still streaming in reinforcements. Archers here left for Soldier. Maximum getting to stick at Kumamoto, but I think they're going to be in trouble in a few minutes when DWK ages up. Does have silver as well. A lot of elite javelinese here. These are some of the worst units in the game. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna slow down a little bit here. I'm gonna take a quick look at libraries wise. Maximum's the closest to anything on ATL side. Gonna go for Commerce 2 now. Is missing that Science 3. Looks like that Pappy got raided earlier. And DWK is pretty close to aging. I'm surprised they're going for this engagement here. Feels a little headlong. They do have armor compared to their opponents. Yeah, and actually Maximum is going to break, retreating with their units. Going to lose the catapults there. Notice being repaired, but trebuchets are sieging away at it still. It's going to be reduced again. This side here, Bencho, all he needs to do is just keep Soldier preoccupied. Soldier economy is really lagging down at this point, and Bencho, you know, kind of exploding as the Americans player does at this point in the game. Tactics finished up for Iron. Still, minimum has like 0 eco. It does have a few units, but has no economy whatsoever. Compare the Japanese players. Completely 9-day. Forbidden City being built by DWK in the back. And now Bencho is the one who is pressing on this right side soldier with not enough units. Really struggling here. Okay, it looks like DWK just needs a bit more food to age up. Looking at this production, somehow minimum who has like no population, 45 population. Oh no, actually soldier also has really low population. I was gonna say, you know, it looks like they're both kind of struggling for their score, anyways. You see here another full frontal charge. I don't think this is gonna work for DWK this time, except the Japanese player is actually gonna press on Kyoto. They're a little out of position. All right, let's see it. Massive 2v2 here. DWK not quite ready to charge in, but is able to pick off a few units on the side. It's a big ball of Javelineers here. DWK gonna start pressing forward. These knights are getting into the back line of Maximum's units. Can AS Phoenix take this city? Looks like AS have the upper hand. All of these archers, now we see DWK aging up. Trebuchet sent forward. Capital's moved in time. But ATL are massively losing this battle. Still 300 metal cents in the pocket of iron. Even though they saved the capital, I mean, still, they've lost both their armies, and the Nubians player is about to age up. And GG is called for ATL. That's going to be AS Phoenix taking game number 1 here. So congratulations to AS. Well played on their part. You know, ATL, they kind of messed up the execution there. I think this, I think they had like an okay lead, but British player was just really slow, and I think their Japanese player just did not have as nice of an eco. They lost this city for free early, and yeah, I don't know. I think they just kind of like messed up the execution there, and AS were kind of able to take advantage of it. DWK with a very nice boom, kind of like able to kind of overtake their opponents. That is going to do it for this game. I don't know why the other person is resigning, but my minimum's not resigning, but you know, they're trying their best, I suppose. We're gonna go ahead and just forward through the rest of this replay. I normally don't do this, but it's Friday night, it's late. All right, there we go. That is gonna be game number 1 going to AS. Alrighty, folks. So I'm gonna take a moment to update the graphic, and then we'll do like a quick 5 minutes before game number 2. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. All right, folks, welcome back to ATL versus AS Phoenix. This is the lower bracket round one. Whichever team loses here is going to get knocked out of the tournament. So far, ATL they looked all right in that game number one, but they are down a game against AS Phoenix. Let's see if they can pull it back here in game number two. Go ahead and load up game number two here. Alrighty, so, okay, game number two. Let's take a look at the players and their nations. This is, of course, Great Lakes. So, we've got, for ATL, we've got, Iroquois, Indians, and Chinese. Let's see if the, Chinese lose streak continues. On the other side, for AS, we've got Bantu, Persians, and Dutch. So we don't know the bans for, this series, because they didn't send them in. Big on their part. But you know, I can assume AS, if they didn't pick Indians, they probably got Persians banned out. Iroquois is a super interesting pick for this map. I think they're not that great, all things considered. The other tier 2 nations. You know, you got your Bantu, you got your Inca, your British, your Americans. I'm really surprised that, you know, there's a bunch of great picks for ATL here, and I'm surprised they went for Iroquois. Indians, kind of no surprise. Indians, Persians. Great Lakes is one of those maps that is pretty good for these nations, especially because you have so much food and extra wealth from the fishermen. Dutch is an interesting pick. Potentially there was a Spanish banned out. I kind of feel like, my sense is that in general, Dutch is just like a inferior Spanish for the most part. Getting that early ship, and then, you know, in the late game, you're pretty good. For the Spanish, you know, your heavy infantry are super duper good. They like melt cavalry. Whereas the Dutch, you know, you if you have a bank, you have extra income from that. Chinese, well, you guys know how I don't really like Chinese. I think they're like reasonable in, but really, like, you know, there are better nations. All right, so let's take a look at where the players are located. So we have the red Chinese player ATL Maximum. The purple Iroquois player Ryuzaki. And the light blue Indians player Soldier. On the other side, in the very corner, the green Dutch player DWK. There is in the pockets the white Bantu player Iron, and over here the blue Persians player Bantu Extreme. You know, all things considered, I don't think I think AS are like pretty reasonably happy with this. They have all their nations are pretty far back. For ATL, it's a little unfortunate that their Iroquois player is in their pocket. You know, you usually want an Iroquois player on the wing. Basically, they make space. But you know, I don't know. Again, you know, this Iroquois pick is very weird for this map in particular. You know, Iroquois are kind of like Bantu lights in my mind. Like, they're good at the early raid and they're good at defending themselves. In my mind, like, they're good at the early raid and they're good at defending themselves. But like, aside from that, like, they're not actually that great. And Bantu, you know, they have no population. They can get another city. Their units move faster. Like, this is kind of like a very, very flexible all-around nation. I think Bantu are really good on lakes, especially because they just have no population, so they don't need to worry about that. In games like these, you often see players kind of stuck at their 75, 100 population, and just not able to max out. You know, have massive ecos, but not be able to produce enough army. So, very interesting to see how this is going to turn out. Unfortunately, no players with Nubians here to help me out with the rares, so we're going to have to do this manually. Let's take a look at ATL's rares first. So they've got tobacco, they've got Pappy, silk, marble, gems, cottons. That's not spice. That's wait, no, it is spice. Brain was like fried a little bit. And wool over here, maybe, question mark. So those are some very nice rares. On the other side for AS, we've got Bison, which is, this might be a little hard to contest, but you know, maybe I'll have it. Obsidian, Citrus, Relics. There's a Furs, a Diamonds, a Sugar, a Silver. Yeah, so also reasonable rares. Oh, and a Furs. I forgot if I said that. Some reasonable rares for AS as well. Let's take a look. Let's count how many knowledge rares each player has, or each side has. So, like, rares that give you knowledge. AS have Relics is basically 2, right? Obsidian is plus 30. Right, so they have 3 knowledge rares. On the other side for ATL, they've got Tobacco, they've got Pappy, 2 gems is and Spice is 4. So it looks like ATL have a slight edge there. ATL also have 2 premier library rares, right? They've got Happy and Silk. Those are excellent rares, very, very strong. But, you know, AS also have some excellent rares themselves. They have Silver, they have Furs. Those are also library rares. They have Diamonds and Sugar. I think this time that around the rares are a little bit more balanced. Happy on Lakes is just so good. Like, this rare makes any nation extremely good. 25% discount on signs, insane. And it just makes your builds like so good. Do see all the ATL players and the AS players presumably going for early commerce. Aside from Bencho Extreme, Bencho is choosing to buck the stereotypes, going to go for Civic first. As a Persians player, it's a very interesting move. I don't think you need to do this. I think you can just go for a normal-ish start, go commerce, science, civic, or something like that. But you know, maybe they just want to fight water. Maybe that's they want to deny their opponent's lakes. There is one very nice lake here in the back. Like I have five boats, and it looks like all the ATL players have migrated over there. So no lake to be had here. Bencho with a pretty forward city. No, okay, so I'm gonna do a little theory crafting. All right, this Chinese nation, they're good on some maps, maybe. Like let's give them generous, okay? In this moment of downtime, let's be generous, okay? Chinese, they have fire lances and they have cheap science research. I'd call those the 2 main benefits of their nation power. They also have large cities, which you know, can be good, but in my experience, like, hasn't really ended up mattering. Like, I mean, it helps stop rushes sometimes, but it's like, it's relatively like not that important. So let's theory craft, okay? So I think Chinese are not good in Age 4, and the reason for that is their heavy fire lances are actually worse than arquebusiers. Since they launch projectiles, they overkill units, and so their actual DPS is actually lower than an arquebusier. So I'd say they're worse than the average nation in Tier 4 in Age 4. They do have nice cheap science. That is a very nice nation power, of course. You know, they're if they're not that good in Age 4, you know, if on a map where all the players hit Age 4, like Lakes, for example, they're probably not as good. So where would it be good? Chinese also are really bad for Age 3, right? Like, they don't have any unique units, they don't have much in the way of speed, aside from their science research, so not that great at low ages. So the sweet spot is Age 3, right? So which maps have good Age 3, are good for Age 3, basically? Like, specifically, like, having which maps are, like, basically, you want to hit Age 3 and attack an Age 3 and not hit Age 4, right? Look at which maps are good for that. And I think the answer is Himalayas. I think Himalayas are actually the map that Chinese is best on. Because, you know, you're basically, there's lots of metal, but, and you want those forward cities to grab the territory in the center, especially where a lot of rares are. But it's hard because it's a land map and there's not much wealth. Similarly, I think Chinese are not bad on Amazon as well for that reason. Want to grab those mountains, and you know, the fire lances can be quite good. They save you wealth on crossbows, you know, and also can be pumped into scholars instead. All right, enough me blabbering and theory crafting. Looks like on both sides, so AS Iron and Bencho have both gone Civic first, Commerce and then followed by Civic, maxing out their ecos now. Does have a dock? Yes, it does have a dock. And DWK is going to go for a early wonder. It looks like finished up that science research using silver, very nice. Going to go for Colo early on. On the other side, everybody's gone commerce thus far. Maximum is the first one to go science, and it looks like they're going to go for an early age as well. Soldier's going to go for commerce 2 here as the very. They are pop maxed out, so they can't really build their too much from here. DWK ages and immediately drops the Colossus. Zagi is also aging now. Soldier having to go back for military. That's a little unfortunate. Usually with the commerce, you kind of just want to max out your eco and not have to. I'm actually sure how they're so maxed out. They have 5 fishes, have 15 citizens, and like 5 merchants. Is that what it is? They have scouting citizens. Huh. Oh, they're using this diamonds. You guys have scouted their diamonds. Zaki ages up now, gonna throw down Hanging Gardens, taking the other excellent age 2 wonder. Not to hit on, or not to shame pyramids there, but you know. Looks like the only player with that military is Soldier. Soldier just again military because they need the population. Looks like this Hanging Gardens is gonna go uncontested. Bencho is aging up now. Armed merchant raid here. Very annoying to deal with. I guess this is a benefit of Dutch, you know, having the having that armed merchant to raid without military. That's very nice. All right, Bencho, it has aged up to H2. I'm curious, honestly, if they want to go for pyramids here. Pyramids being excellent on any elephant nation, having the extra food income first of all. The elephants are very expensive, and also the food cap, right? And another city is very nice. It could be good, but it's gonna go for military instead. Just gonna max out. Just gonna go for like kind of like a normal-ish build order. All right. Let's see. The soldier has that commerce 2. You did use silk, and it's now gonna go for science 2. Almost finish up. Finishing up military as well. I'm a little surprised that they went military there. Part of the reason you can go early colo is so you can skip military, but you know, maybe you just did the population immediately. Forward tower here for Bencho. Maximum going for science 3 now in Ancient Age with the power of that Pappy. Honestly, their eco's not looking super hot. Otherwise, they would be doing very well, but they are currently the lowest score in the game just because their eco is not as good as the other players. And so it looks like AS primarily, you know, Iron have going for that that Commerce 2 in Ancient Age. Their eco is okay, kind of building up towards it. But it is mostly ATL that have chosen to go for extra science research here in the Ancient Age. Science 3 for the Indians player. You know, this is kind of like why this Pappy rare is super good on this map. You just like go multiple sciences and you know, kind of go ham from there. But I think I like how ATL played this thus far. I just wish Maximum would, well, max out their eco. Barracks and Dock coming along for Ryuzaki on this side. Citizen raid here, pretty annoying to deal with. You know, the more and more I think about these early raids with, you know, with these citizens and merchants and stuff, maybe it's actually good. Like, maybe the move is going Korean so you can raid in Age 2 with those militia. Iron and Soldier now aging up, all players aging up to Age 3. If you look at the libraries here, ATL are ahead overall in libraries. Obviously, AS have the Colossus versus a Hanging Gardens on the other side for Ryuzaki. Honestly, as Dutch, I feel like you would honestly want, I'm trying to think. I feel like Hanging Gardens is a little bit better for... No, actually, no. Okay, Colossus is really good because of the extra population. You can max out on Scholars, max out on Army. It's super nice. Quiet game thus far here. No aggression from really anybody, though they all have military now. Soldier gonna start denying these merchants with some archers. There is an armed merchant coming over to attack this merchant, or at least the diamonds. We see a military 2 for Bencho, actually. Bencho clearly wanting to get aggressive. You don't really go early military 2 on this map, unless you really want to be aggressive. Production being made for Soldier with that Science 3. Everything is super, has a very nice eco behind it. DWK also doing very well. 105 knowledge income, 110 knowledge income. Let's compare that to 125 knowledge income for Ryuzaki here. And ATL have taken an early lead, I would say, especially just because they have that Pappy. One of their best rares. AS kind of not able to raid it for the time being. Archers are denying this merchant from AS. Or sorry, yeah, from AS. Yep, Soldier with those archers. Nice little raid here, gonna pick off a few merchants. Very impactful. Forward City here from DWK. No extra science researches, but is actually gonna go for another military research. Oops. City is gonna get denied for the time being. That's a little unfortunate. Slightly late there. This side looks like Bencho just went for that early military just to get a fort. So not really sure why they did that. These archers are raiding now. AS kind of leaving their rares unprotected here. Cities are getting increasingly close to each other. Curious if DWK is gonna go for an attack here. Soldier now researching military too. Archers have gotten a lot of use. ATL do have a slight advantage over AS, about 150 points here. Have these archers been dealt with? No. DWK starting to mass units though. 214 wood income. Does have 10 less knowledge. On this side, is beginning to see Ryuzaki with catapults starting to city of Turud. Very well protected, but Bencho has no army at the moment. Iron starting to make production. Nice little raid here from Light Horse. Raid or just scout? I'm not really. Very annoying here, but attrition is recent, so it is. This Light Horse is gonna die eventually. Ryuzaki and DWK are aging up. WK making production, 2 stables, 2 barracks, and a seed factory. On this side, Soldier's actually going to make farms. You usually don't really see this. Surprised no player has gone for pyramids thus far, but maybe they just fair. Bencho with military 3 for aging. Probably just had a lot of metal spare. Still not much army spam unit. Game is very close here. Most players aging up. Iron is the one who is furthest. Is kind of like lacking in the knowledge income, I guess. Double siege factory from DWK. I usually don't see this too often, but no, it's gonna put in some work here. Just spamming. Most players aging up. A lot of crossbows. Maximum with no units whatsoever, basically. Per unit. It's not amazing. It's like reasonable. It does have science 3, and with this literature upgrade, it's gonna hit a very early gunpowder age. side, this city is beginning to be sieged. This double siege factory not really doing anything. But Soldier has a much better library than DWK at this point. If you just compare them. 218 knowledge income compared to 120, that's the power of literacy. Finally gonna clean up those archers in the center of the map. But AS look at in a bit of trouble. Their opponents just have much more knowledge than they do. They've fallen behind in this early game. I think Iron and Bencho's build orders were just really a little weird, and if they don't kill their opponents here, or at least pressure them a lot and take good trades, they might be in a bit of trouble. DWK's library is lacking compared to this opponent. Just going for, yeah, is down a whole tier of research activity. It has a couple more units. Lots of production here for Soul. Alright guys, I just want to say for the record, that I would say, like, any nation in this tier 4 spot would be reasonable. Like, I don't think ATL are winning this game because they have Chinese. Like, I think, like, literally any nation would be... Oh, big fight over here. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, it looks like an ambush? No, it's just a march. But against 5 elephants here, 5 elephants, I don't think, yeah, it looks like Soldier is going to easily drive off DWK, and DWK keep the alive. 6 elephants now here for Soldier. More production. And Maximum's actually going to make a barracks over here. One of the nice things about Indians on this map is you can kind of oh, there are lots of raids here from ATL here. I think Bencho and Iron need to get a move on. They're just not really doing anything right now, and the other side is gonna die. I think. Just look at the library differences. Happy has made ATL's game much easier and made AS's game much harder. I feel like AS have a much larger army, no? Or they can just charge him. I'm blind. Saki is about to be ready to aid. Soldier just for food to age. Probably overspent on some of these elephants here. And yeah, DWK still struggling for a library here. I feel like AS can just charge his army. It's so small. Yep, AS are gonna go for it. And yeah, Rizaki's gonna have to back off. Crossbows are gonna clean up the shop here. If AS have any sieges, they are making sieges in the back. Soldier is close to aging. Still needs a tiny bit more knowledge and a bunch more food. To this point, their library. If you look at all their libraries, they're all ready to age. AS are all missing for Science 3. Really did not like Bencho's build order this game. I think this, like, going a normal build on Lakes is no good. Like, Lakes, like, you have to like, if you're gonna go normal build, you have to make sieges. You can't, like, sit in your butt, you know? Yeah, like, you have to do. And 3 scouts here for Soldier. Soldier aging up as well. Uzaki, let's see, is close to aging. Just needs knowledge. It's falling behind if they're not attacking on this side. Fair enough, too. Iron is getting their relics raided by this elephant. Ryuzaki is clicked up now. Yes, Bencho is closest technically. Bencho's also a population. Y'all are gonna hit their age 4 timing well before AS. AS very far from it. WK doesn't even have Science 3 yet. Soldier ages up to age 4. Gun Madhouse are super duper strong stage. I expect Soldier just to be able to roll over. Ryuzaki, aging up to age 4 now. Pretty reasonable army. I guess I've invested a lot of units here and they still haven't used them. Right to the front. Massive battle over here. AS have no scouts against an Iroquois player. Oh, they have a single scout, just kidding. Battle over here. Not really sure who's winning. I think AS have it because they have just more units at the moment, and their opponents are just aged up. Yep, ATL are going to take a big loss here, lose a couple units there. And AS's sieges are just very far. Upside, soldiers kind of taking their time. I kind of feel like they could start sieging the other buildings. WK is going to go for Forbidden City in the back. All the way over here. Lots of raids in the center. Very nice moves from Ryuzaki here. Go for Monarchy as well. And yeah, DWK's like, I can't fight this. I'm gonna back off. AS look like in a lot of trouble here. Maximum is now aging up. I just want to point this out again. Like, the issue this game for AS is their knowledge and they're just really lacking compared to their opponents. Everybody is lower aside from Bencho. Bencho's a little bit above max. Iron's finally ready to move, gonna do something here. DWK is doing alright, still far from aging. They have literacy upgrade. Ooh. Guess it's gonna have to do some crazy stuff here, or else they're gonna get cooked. Monarch army here for Ryuzaki. Kind of like this move from Iron, doing some crazy stuff, going down the center. There is a fortress. There's 2 fortress here to deal with. Still no scout. On the top side, Soldier's gonna take the first city of the game, taking the city of Briel. Yeah, still, AS cannot hold on to this Bears. This is actually Ryuzaki's merchant here. Catapults are going to start sieging at this exposed castle here. But this city is going to be taken down very easily if they don't come back soon. Iron and Bencho are now aging up. Bencho is maxed out in population. Has 1 elephant. Thought they were an elephant nation. Scout's not upgraded for Iron. We're just gonna start sieging at these cities. Does have enough... Oh no, not quite enough knowledge for military here. Not be surprised to see them go for military. And yeah, Ryuzaki and folks are going to charge forward, try and take the city of Karud. Have more than enough army to take it, so that this is just the Persian first capital, so they're gonna get sent back. Iron's gonna start upgrading units. Yelm looking a commanding position this game. Still not aged for DWK. This has got to be the slowest step on Colossus I've seen. We're just gonna go for Porcelain Tower. I feel like, guys, in terms of like meme stuff, like I feel like this is like, if your opponent puts this down, you know it's Jover. You know, like they just have enough resources to like max out their eco for the rest of the game. All right, Tarud is taken. Ventro's gonna have to back off for the moment, and you see here, Iron finishes up Arquebusier upgrade, and they're actually gonna go and try and take this back. Let's see it here. It's a 2v2. There's some ships and stuff sieging away here. I'd like to see the bombards come over for AS. Yeah, and Ryuzaki and Maximum, they're gonna back off. They do not have enough units. DWK's finally aging. Very, very late age here. Finishing up their Forbidden City. This city also looks toast, to be honest. Economy's still doing pretty reasonably. Somehow Relics is gonna get raided again. I guess really need to make some progress on the bottom side. But Ryuzaki's library is crazy. So is Maximum library. Massive, massive army for Soldier here. Almost 125 population. Same population as the Colossus player. At this point in the game, the Colossus doesn't matter as much. Yes, looks like in a lot of trouble right now. ATL with a very commanding lead. WK going for upgrades now, trying their best to keep their production alive. Need to keep making units, unfortunately. Side looks like no sign of this stranglehold up coming done. You see bombards here beginning to kill these ships. This is a nice move. These bombards are very, very good against ships. I'd like to see Iron just make a few raiding units. Okay, pure massive battle. Over here, Medieval Age army is getting upgraded right now, but I think they're gonna get crushed against this massive army of elephants. So many elephants. All these spies are going for bribes. Floors are moving right now. They're not ready to kill spies. One bribe, but these explorers are gonna eat up the spies. And yeah, DWK is super dead. Gonna give away Colossus too. This side, massive battle here for Turud. Like AS have forced the opponents back for the moment, but Ryuzaki hasn't taken that much damage. There's a lot of bombards here for Iron. WK with no army now, has a lot of resources but just can't spend it. 68 population compared to 125 population for so many elephants. This is how many elephants? 15 elephants. I think this is the most elephants we've seen at once. The AS are actually going to take the advantage on this side. I think I'm not entirely sure. They got it. I think they just won a fight. No, if they can kill Maximum, I'd still call this game slightly in ATL's favor. But yeah, the problem is Soldier is now running over DWK with nothing to protect themselves. Just has a ton of resources. The Senate is not deleted either. And AS, they can't really push into all these units. An upgrade is going to get denied. That's nice for them. The The capital is going to get sacked here. Gonna be some nice plunder for Soldier. Gonna be able to research all those researchers they wanted to go for. 175 population max with this Colossus that was not raised. Massive armies here for both sides. Maximum does not have that big of an army. All right, massive charge here for AS. They're gonna try and take this fight. If they can maybe take this fight, maybe they can hold this game. Although it's a little doubtful considering they're not really moving a bunch of units. They have some scouts. They do have some scouts. Very cool. Massive battle here. All these elephants putting in a lot of work for AS. Cannot tell who's winning right now. AS have lost most of their cavalry. It looks like ATL are actually going to be driven back. No, this is giving AS a slight chance. We do see a red fort being thrown down at Delhi here. And yeah, this soldier's army is going to keep going. I think AS know they're on a very, very short timer right now. And DWK is just going to beeline it. Soldier, I'm sorry, is just going to beeline it, just going to take all of DWK's cities. DWK with no production, tons of resources, but no production, is not able to slow them down at all. But AS, you know, they're pushing technically on this side. Need to keep making sieges. They are on a very close timer here. They're gonna take Forbidden City, which is gonna start the timer for AS or for DWK. DWK not able to finish their city, I believe. If this city's gonna get denied, so once Forbidden City goes down, DWK will be dead, and onwards to the inner cities for their opponents. Beijing is actually going to be taken by Iron here. And ATL, they just have to hold off as long as they can. DWK dies. Looks like they gave all their resources to Iron. Iron, their capital is in a lot of trouble. Do they have a... They don't have their Senate move. That begins raising it now. Way too late for that. ATL in a commanding position this game. Even though they are losing this side, they just have so much time on their side. Yeah, AS looks like they're about to call it here. And yeah, they called GG. So that's going to be game number 2 going to ATL. I want to see how many elephants. This is 23 elephant. No, 19 elephants. Sorry, 19 elephants total. Soldier going to age up. Yeah, I think ATL take this game pretty handily. AS just kind of misplayed it. I don't know. I think they just really messed it up. I don't know. I feel like they super messed up this game. I did not like Bencho nor Iron's builds. I felt like they were super all game. And DWK, the build order was also off. And you know, Glake's is all about like knowing what to do and when to do it. And you know, this game, AS were not doing the right things. And ATL took advantage of that. So that's going to be a 1-1 score for this match thus far. We're going to take a quick break. Gonna update the graphic and finish up with game number 3 very soon. See you guys in a second. All right, folks, welcome back to ATL versus AS Phoenix. This is game number 3 about to start up. We saw ATL take a very convincing game number 2 against AS. Again, this is an elimination match. Let's see what each team can come up with in this game number 3. ATL versus AX Phoenix. Game 3. Alrighty, welcome to game number 3, folks. We are on Australian Outback. Let's take a look at the players and their nations. We'll start with AS this time. We've got DWK with Lakota, Iron with Aztecs, and Bencho with Spanish. On the other side, we've got Minimum with Mongols, Ryuzaki with French, and Soldier with Spanish. Definitely some interesting picks here. So first of all, we didn't get the bans, unfortunately, for this for the series, but given that DWK is playing Lakota, we see that ATL did not ban Lakota. So curious what DWK is going to be able to do with that Lakota pick. The other thing I want to know is double Spanish pick is no surprise there. This map is probably the best Spanish map. You can really use that heavy ship. Maybe aside from Watering Hole, but honestly they're not amazing on that Watering Hole. Like the free ship is nice, but everybody's making ships. And Aztecs versus French, this is an interesting split. I'm generally a fan of French. I think French have a really strong Commerce 2 Despot, as well as a Despot in general. I think they also get really strong in the late game. Aztecs also same, but I think like their Despot is not quite as good. Their cavalry aren't as amazing. And obviously the healing is also a little bit lacking. So I think in general, I like ATL's picks a little bit more. Mongols is also excellent on this map, because there's just much less landmass, and so you get a much larger boost. You don't need to make as many starting farms. But, this Lakota is the wild card, I think, for me. And DWK, we've seen they did probably the best out of their team these last 2 games. So, I'm excited to see what they have in store for us in this game number 3. All right, let's go ahead and start with AS. So we've got the red Lakota player DWK over here. We've got the white Aztecs player Iron, and finally for AS the blue Spanish player Bencho Extreme. On the other side, we've got the green French player Ryuzaki, the purple Spanish player Soldier, and finally the yellow Mongols player Minimum. Notably, this Lakota city is super forward. I think just a little unfortunate for DWK there. I think this is I think it's a little unfortunate for them, and I think it's slight advantage there for ATL. Usually with Lakota, you want to like have your first city way in the back, and then you can civ as forward as you like, and kind of have the choice of your placement where you want that second city to be. That's one of the major advantages of Lakota. Unfortunately, for AS here, they don't get to choose where their city's going to be. Makasika is going to be their first city. Second city, realistically, could be somewhere in the back. I'm not entirely sure. Alrighty, so I'm very curious what the strategies are going to be for this game. I'm also looking at this Aztec players. Let's take a look at both players actually have a Spanish player, so they know all the rares. So I'm going to use that. So ATL, they've got Cotton, Bull, Gems, Bison, Dye, Amber, Obsidian, and Marble. Honestly, not that great rares. Their best rare is a Gems. Like, not amazing. I mean, Gems is fine, especially on this map. But their next best rare is like a Dye, I guess? I don't know. Their kind of rares are kind of garbage. On the other side, AS, they've got Relics, they've got Pappy, they've got Silver, Salt, Furs, tobacco, wine, diamonds, copper, ice, and peacocks, and citrus. Yeah, AS clearly have better rares here. I think I saw ATL on this side, and they said they were going to rush. That makes sense to me, given this setup. Very curious what DWK is going to do this game. They've already slightly messed up their build order, not making... I think. I'm not entirely sure how Lakota work on this water map. We take a quick look at the ruins here. Looks like DWK has the most as a Lakota player, obviously. Bencho also doing reasonably. Soldier with only 1 ruin, and Minimum and Iron with 2. Minimum is the first with commerce, though. Mongols being very, very fast. I'm gonna go for a second wood camp here. Very curious what ATL's builds are gonna be this game, as are AS's. WK finishes up commerce. Somewhere? Yes, they do in the back here. Cleaning up the last couple ruins on the map. Soldier is going to finish up Commerce 1 right now, and can they make a dock over here? They could. I think that'd be a pretty nice forward position for the dock, because you get a free Spanish ship. On this side, I assume Bencho's just going to put a dock near. I'd like to see WK go for early military this game, I think. You know, you usually don't want to like boom too much as Lakota, and if they can slow their opponents down, that might give the Aztecs player a little bit of time to kind of catch up. Aztecs, one of the slowest nations, don't get any economic bonuses. It looks like everybody's gone commerce thus far. Iron is the last one to finish up. No surprises here in this early game. Again, this is game number 3. Whichever team wins this game will proceed lower bracket round 2, where they can play for the playoffs, and the loser is going to be knocked out of the tournament. Docks finishing up a single heavy ship for Soldier. What are they going to do with it? Looks like it is going over to protect their own ships. This heavy ship, however, for Bencho is heading towards their enemy. Minimum going to go for Civic here. Very interesting choice. I assume this is partially because they have die. Honestly, I'm not super in love with it. I think I would have liked to see a military from them try and slow the Lakota player down. It depends on if they've scouted the wood line. They have scouted the Lakota player's wood, so I would have liked to see them do that. Lakota going to go for Civic. And actually, it's going to be the Spanish player that's going to go for military. So Soldier is actually going to go for military here. And Ryozaki's actually going to go for Civic as well. I'm very curious about this. It's going to be a straight despot, potentially. I was thinking Ryozaki might go for Commerce 2 despot, but maybe they're fight again. If they're fighting at Spanish ships in the water, maybe they can't afford. UWK going for a very interesting side city here. The caravan route is going to be vulnerable, but they are going to deny this wood camp from the opponent. Take a look. Okay, it denies 1 wood. That's definitely helpful. And yeah, with the city garrison to start shooting away. Very annoying to deal with if you're the Mongols player. ATL have an early lead, 30 points game. And these triremes have started chasing each other, the 2 Spanish triremes. Yes, now taking the lead in score. Second city for Iron. Everybody's gone Commerce Civic, aside from Soul, just military. Does have a hoplite, maybe they'll pick off a few units here. The Lakota player is now aging. Sorry, not aging. Going for military. Can they protect these merchants? They notice that they're being attacked here. Gonna get cut off. Yep, they do get cut off. Are they gonna feed this merchant too? No, they're not. Military here. Anybody? They have military on this side? Doesn't look like. Oh, Bencho is military. Fur is being very nice for AS. Happy there. But I think they didn't scout before. Everybody with Commerce and Civic aside from Iron. Again, the Aztecs player, or Commerce, Civic, and Military aside from Iron. And Aztecs player kind of like, you know, Aztecs don't really get many bonuses. Photo player's Woodline is about to get raided. They are making a second archer, so hopefully they should be able to defend themselves for the time being. Word City here for Soldier, kind of no surprise there. Eric's for Ryuzaki. He went Slinger Hoplite. I don't really like this that much. I would much rather they made a single defensive. I don't think at this point you can do much damage. Chip's beginning to battle it out here. Trireme versus Trireme. Skirmish is over here. And DWK fight or not? Second arc. Cancel it. Hoplite might be able to pick off some merchants here. Big trades here. This Trireme is actually going to kill Bencho's Trireme. Right, Micro? No. Both going to... Trireme Micro is always a little funky. Hoplite's going to keep running. Minimum is aging up, as is DWK. Minimum having finished up that science research. Lots of things happening around the map here. Bencho is going to send his ship forward despite being on 0 HP, basically. Very curious what the build order is going to be from here. Bencho is now aging. Yeah, the fundamental issue is AOs just have way better rares, and so they need to either get an early lead in hits, or they need to get some wonders. Ryuzaki slowed down quite a bit by making that Slinger Hoplite. Another raiding ship here from Bencho, from Trireme. Ooh, nice little raid here for Ryuzaki. Gonna get this free furs. Power did not go up at the furs when instead, and AS are gonna get punished for it, losing 3 merchants in the process. Classical Age finishing up. Iron is going for Commerce and then Civic, or Commerce 2 teams. Given the state of things, given their rares, I don't think he needs to go Commerce 2. I think go for a normal build. But you know, he's gonna get a bit greedy here as the Aztecs player. Senator for minimum. Very curious if Ryuzaki's gonna go Despot or not. Units did get are unscathed. They're still alive in the back. Are AS interested in cleaning them up? ETL doing a very good job of keeping themselves in this game thus far, in this game number 1. I would do with age 2, aside from the Aztecs player, of course. Aztecs player now aging up with that Commerce 2 line. The issue is, I mean, I feel like they would just have like a similar impact in the game with Senator, so... Despot here for DWK. I don't know about this. I feel like you can just go Senator, no? Like, I feel like... I really don't like this Despot. I think it's overthrowing the game for AS here. Very curious if we're going to see a Despot here from Ryuzaki. Have AS scouted this? Yeah, they know this all. Okay, pick off another merchant. I'm not entirely sure. He's gonna be Senator for the French player. Okay. And it's gonna be Despot for the Spanish player. Question mark. I don't know about this, guys. I feel like this is not good. This I feel like you should have gone the other way around. Despot's very nice. Ooh, Mongol archers. Maybe you're gonna pick off this Despot. No, it actually has enough craft for ambush. Look out. Gonna be free wealth. Oh, it's 100 wealth in the pocket of minimum. DWK messing up there. Oh my gosh. They have so many units. What the hell? Okay. How many units does minimum have? Not very many. Catapult starting up. Close game here. Let's see what can happen. Again, I really would have much rather Iron had gone for a regular build. Went Senator instead, no Despot. So, no guys. I feel like there's some wonky AS mistakes here. Double barracks here for Soldier. And the siege begins. This catapult's starting to siege away at Bala Sagam. But you know, DWK is very in danger of being doubled here. Very, very in danger. Especially considering the Aztec player doesn't even have a siege yet. Slowed down quite a bit by going for a Commerce 2. Not really making use of it at all here. You know, you go Senator, you really want to max this go out. Put a player with a lot of units, plus 110, that diamond's helping them out quite a bit. Economy still is not very good though. Compare that, right? Like, minimum's gonna spam units. Okay. Very nice Despot army though. Althagam. Low. Militia are pulled. Christian being researched. Can DWK take the city? I think the answer is no. So the question is, how much damage can they do? Massive battle here in the center of the map. Ooh, they're gonna get doubled though. A soldier with a number of units, and Iron just kind of sleeping. Iron's sleeping. Yeah, that is gonna be a failed rush from DWK. Fortunately for them, they are left with basically nothing. French army starting to siege here too. What is this Aztecs player doing? Absolutely nothing. Spanish player over here, Bencho, is starting to make production. No army whatsoever. And yeah, DWK looks like they're in a lot of trouble here. Some attrition. Senator is going to finish up a bribe, but is going to get promptly killed after. 100 wealth in the pocket of a Despot. Looks like a massive victory so far for ATL. DWK is actually going to call GG. City's going to get taken for Soldier. Going to lose their siege at the backside. Not the end of the world. Iron floating a ton of resources, not producing anything. ATL have a firm lead in this game number one. Actually, it looks like they're about to take a victory. Iron is going to resign. And yeah, that is going to be AS knocked out of the tournament. AS Phoenix knocked out of the tournament. Yeah, I mean, they clearly just got outclassed in this game, in this match. ATL playing much, much better than them in the games 2 and 3. And AS just making some major mistakes. So, yeah. Messed up, I think, these last 2 games. I feel like they... Yeah, I think, like, it was just sloppy play all around, unfortunately, for AS. And, you know, ATL, they're going to manage to claw one out. They were down a game in the game number 1, but they are going to bring it back and take game number 2 here. So congratulations to them. And, you know, hopefully they will be able to figure out that they need to send in their games. They need to play their games earlier. So, let this be, you know, they need to play their games as soon as they can next time. Alrighty. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up the series here. So again, congratulations, Gil. I'm just gonna fast forward the rest of this. The Friday night. Fighting back and forth, but ultimately, ATL are gonna take this game here, and that's gonna take the match. So congratulations to them, and unfortunately for AS fans, they are gonna be disappointed as AS is knocked out. AS Phoenix is knocked out of the tournament. I'll go ahead and update my graphic here. Alrighty, folks. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and for the future, especially for ATL, please read the rules. It's really, really helpful, and please get your games in on time. Especially you are the only ones, you are the ones who are left in the tournament. We're gonna try and finish up. I think Sylvan was gonna cast today, but I think he ended up being too busy, so he's gonna cast the last match tomorrow. I think MZ versus JIA. Speaking of that match, I think we are owed some replays. I think we had the incorrect replays sent to us. So please, MZ versus JA, whoever played those, please send your replays as soon as you can. Thanks, guys. All right, that's going to wrap up today's stream. It is a late Friday night stream, and I'm tired, guys. Hope you guys had a good week, and we'll see you guys soon for some more run. Next round is coming up soon. We may extend the deadline if it becomes a problem, but please, otherwise, just focus on trying to get these games in. Thanks, guys. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.